My name is Elder Glynis Shannon, and I want to thank Dr. Pastor Anthony Shannon, the host of the Leaders Live Generously Virtual Summit, for this opportunity to share with you today. I'm honored to be able to deliver this word for today. And before I say anything else, I want you to do something with me. Just put your hand right here on your chest. Feel that? That's your first instrument. Before you ever picked up a mic or sat at a piano or sang in a choir, you had this: a beating heart, a rhythm section God Himself installed. Now, just take one slow breath in and out. That sound you hear in your body, that tiny rush of air, is also your voice. See, we tend to think our musical voice is range and riffs and how many things we can do in 8 counts. And your musical voice is bigger than that. It's your sound, it's your story and your spirit all braided together. And today, I want to talk to you about how to build your musical voice, not just so you can sing higher or louder, but so you can sing truer, your true, authentic voice. Because the world doesn't need another copy. The world needs your sound. See, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, where you can hear music on the sidewalk, on the streets, anywhere, cars, conversations, church. Everything had a rhythm. It's the city that is known for the birth of Motown records and that sound that the world still loves today. I sang in church. I led choirs. I've written songs, and people will say, "Oh, she's such a good singer. She's a musician. She's anointed." But here's the part they didn't see. There were nights I stood in front of a mirror singing the way that I thought I was supposed to sound for everyone else. I would play gospel music and pretend I was directing a choir, and I would imitate Motown artists, other gospel artists, people with huge platforms and big voices. And I remember one particular day, I just finished singing somewhere, and someone said to me, "You sound just like somebody I know." And everyone meant it as a compliment. But you know what I didn't hear? No one said, "You sound like Glynis." I'm telling you, that was a wake up call for me because I realized I had spent so long trying to be good that I forgot about me. I didn't need another scale, another run, another trick. I needed to go find my actual voice. That journey of unlearning imitation and building my musical voice from the inside out is what I want to share with you today. Your true, authentic voice. Let's redefine it. Your musical voice is not just your tone or just your technique or just your style. Your musical voice is your authentic self translated into sound. It's your true, authentic self. It's how your history, your healing, your heartbreak, and hope all come out through your throat, through your hands, and your instrument. You build that voice on purpose. It doesn't just show up magically one day in the studio. And over the years as a singer, I've sung with some big names, Aretha Franklin and New Kids on the Block. I've done some singing with some choirs. I've sung, written songs. I've been a choir director. I am a wife. I am a mom. But building your musical voice has 4 pillars I want to tell you about today. I call them rise because when you build your voice, this is what it requires. Rise, what you're called to. R, remember your roots. Integrate your story. That's the I. And then the S is steward your skill. And is embrace, risk, and release. So let's walk through these. R, remember your roots. If your voice were a tree, your technique would be the branches, but your roots are where you grew up, what you heard in your house, the first songs that made you cry, or the first songs that made you shout and laugh or feel good. The people you poured into, who poured into you. You can't build a strong musical voice while being ashamed of your roots. I had to go back and remember the nights as a child, lying in bed, trying to sleep while my mom and dad and their friends were downstairs dancing and singing to the Motown hits of the 60s, and the small church with the B3 Hammond organ. Anybody remember that? And the time I sang my first solo with a choir at the age of 7. The old saints and my dad, who sang, no conservatory training, just conviction. The way my father would sing hymns and prayer songs during devotional period, and the whole room would shift, not because it was technically perfect, but because it was true, authentic. Think about your own roots. You might have grown up on hymns or on jazz, on hip hop, or on rock, Afro beats, or country. Or maybe you grew up in a house where nobody sang at all, but the radio was always in the background. Your roots are not a liability, people. They are your palette. So here's a question for you. What did you love musically before you started worrying about being good? That's a clue to your voice. If you want a practical step, make a playlist called Roots. Fill it with the songs that shaped you, whether they're cool or not, whether anyone else respects them or not. Call it Roots. And then instead of running them or running from those sounds, ask, how can I honor these roots in the way I sing, write, and play right now? And then integrate your story. A musical voice that has no story in it, it's forgettable. It might be impressive, but it's not impactful. And most of us spend years learning how to hide in our art. We hide behind our big runs and riffs. We hide behind our volume and pitch. We hide behind big churchy language, big performance energy. But the performances that stay with us are the ones where, for one moment, you feel like you're hearing someone's life come through their throat. Let me share this with you. There was a season in my life when I was navigating financial pressure and ministry pressure and family responsibilities and personal doubts all at the same time. I'd show up to church with my hair done and my makeup on and my praise the Lord, everybody voice on, but inside I was tired, y'all. And one Sunday, as I got on the piano and started to lead worship, my usual polished version of a song, it just wouldn't even come out. So between verses, I paused and said something like, some of us are singing today with bills due and kids acting up and a smile that's barely hanging on, but we're here anyway, seeking God. Something shifted at that moment. People's shoulders dropped. The room relaxed in honesty. I didn't change the notes. I changed the level of truth in the sound. See, your story, your real, messy, beautiful, unfinished story is not a distraction. It's the fuel of your musical voice. So here's another question for you. What have you survived that your voice hasn't told the truth about yet? You don't have to tell all your business from the stage, but you can let your healing leak into your tone, into your lyrics, your phrasing. Very practically, do this. Journal about one season of your life, whether it's good or bad. Then write or choose a song that expresses your season. Sing or play it as if you're talking from the inside that memory. You will be amazed. You'll be absolutely amazed how your sound starts to deepen. And then S, I want you to steward your skill. What does that mean, Glynis? Now let's talk about the part everybody wants, skill. Yes, you do need breath control. You need pitch, good pitch. You need good phrasing and timing. And maybe theory, ear training, all the things. But here's the truth. Technique is not the enemy of authenticity. Technique is the servant of authenticity. See, when I was younger, I thought if I really love God, if I'm really called, it'll just come out. And sometimes it did. But let me tell you, there were other days where my voice got tired. I lost control of my tone, or I couldn't do what I heard in my head. I had to humble myself and say, if this voice is a gift, then practicing is how I say thank you for it. See, stewarding your skill looks like this: consistent practice, even 20 focused minutes a day, honest feedback, letting one of your friends or somebody you know in the music business, someone you trust, tell you when you're flat or you rushed here or there. Staying a student, taking lessons, watching tutorials, reading more and listening more than you talk. You're taking, if you're taking notes, write this down. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. So be careful what you rehearse. If you rehearse teaching and faking, that's what you'll perform. If you rehearse openness and freedom and truth, that's what will show up. And here's a tiny exercise I want you to try tonight when you're alone. I want you to play something simple, just a scale or a hymn. Then ask yourself, am I holding my breath? Am I clenching my jaw? Am I tense? Am I trying to impress an imaginary audience? Then try it again, but this time unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, and sing like you're talking to one person you love who already loves you back. That's the beginning of a healthier, more powerful, musical, authentic voice. And then E, I want you to embrace risk and release. You can have roots, you can have a story, you can even have skill and still never truly be heard. Why? Because building your musical voice requires risk. The first time you sing your own song instead of copying someone else's, or the first time you choose a simpler melody because it's more honest, or say on stage, I'm nervous today, but I'm going to sing this anyway. That's risk. And risk is always feels like standing too close to the edge. I remember the first time I shared a very personal, original song. Up until then, I was comfortable doing covers or safe songs people already knew. That way, if that they clapped, when they clapped, I could say, that's because they liked the song. But this time it was my story. It was my lyrics, my tears in those chords. I stood there thinking, what if they didn't like it? What if they didn't get it? What if I don't even like how I sound? What if I don't sound good to them? But I did it anyway. And when I finished, someone came up to me with tears in their eyes and said, I felt that. I felt like you just told my story. That day, I learned when you risk using your voice, someone else will feel it. Someone else will be free. You are not responsible for controlling how every person responds to your sound. Your job is to show up, to be prepared, to be honest, and to release it. Maybe 10 people will clap. Maybe only one person really gets it. But that one person might leave different. And by the way, sometimes the one person who needs your song is actually you. So risk and release that song. And so I want you to try something. Let's try it together. Just a tiny safe experience. I'm not going to ask you to sing. You won't have to sing alone. I promise. I want you to try this. Think silently, just in your mind, of the first song you loved as a child. What is that first song you loved? You got it? Now, think about something you've come through. It could be grief, sickness, a hard season, or it could be a victory, a promotion, a moment you felt truly seen. Think about that. Now I want you to take a breath like a musician. In your nose, through your nose, and then out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth, like you're warming up. Now just hum one note, nothing fancy. Mm. Go ahead and hum it again. But this time, imagine that note is carrying a one-word prayer or a one-word intention from your story. It could be healed, healed, free, seen, loved. That sound you just made might not be on a record. It might never trend on TikTok, but that is the seed of your musical voice. Honest, embodied, rooted, intentional. So building your voice beyond the stage, the beautiful and challenging thing is this. Your musical voice is shaped just as much off the stage as it is on it. It's shaped when you choose to forgive instead of hold a grudge. When you serve quietly when nobody's applauding. When you take care of your body so you can sustain your calling. When you sit in silence and listen more than you speak. Because the kind of person you are leaks into the sound you make. You can hear it in the humility of a singer who knows they're gifted but still grateful. In the authority of someone who has suffered but stayed soft. In the joy of someone who remembers why they started. So if you want to build a stronger musical voice, work on your scales, yes, but also work on your soul. The more integrated you become as a person, the more integrated your sound becomes as a musician. And for the ones who feel late or not enough, some of you might be thinking, I'm too old to start now. I don't sound like the people on my playlist, or my following is too small on social media, or I'm just singing in a small room. It doesn't matter. Let me talk to you for a moment. Every major movement starts in a small room. Most of the songs that changed my life didn't come with smoke machines and LED walls. They came from voices that were convinced, not just confident. It's not too late for you to build and rebuild your musical voice. You can reinvent at 30, 40, 50, 60, and beyond. Start writing after decades of only singing other people's music. Start lessons even if you've been professional for years. Shift genres, merge styles, and show your whole self. If you're breathing, you're not done evolving. And so I want to give you this simple framework to take with you today. As you leave here, I want you to remember just 4 questions. You can take these into your practice room, into your choir rehearsal or your studio session, even your living room. Number 1, roots. What shaped my sound and how can I honor that today? And number 2, story. What truth from my life I want people to hear in this song? And then skill. How can I practice with intention? And then 4, risk and release. What small risk can I take today to share more of my real voice? And then let it go. If you keep asking those questions, your voice will not stay the same. It will deepen, it will widen, it will become more you. And so, in closing, your voice is needed. I want to close where I started. Go ahead and do it again, one more time. And want to ask you, do you feel that rhythm, that quiet percussion? Nobody else on earth has this combination of your fingerprint, your story, your sound, your assignment. There are people you will reach, rooms you will fill, hearts you will touch. Not because you hit the highest note or did the greatest run, but because you dare to be honestly you. So my invitation to you today is simple. Build your musical voice, not as a performance, but as a promise. A promise that you will honor your roots, a promise that you'll tell your story, a promise that you'll steward your skill and keep taking the risk to be heard. Because when you do, I promise you, you won't just make music, you'll make meaning. And somewhere, someone will say, I don't know what it is about that voice, but I heard me in it. And it gave me courage to use my own. Thank you. If you want to increase your vocal skill or want to go to a new level, want to find your musical voice, you can contact me, Glynis Shannon, at GLYNISDS@gmail.com. Thank you for your time.